Are we on now?
I hope so.
Welcome to the Piledriver Podcast with myself, Dynamite Dave Abbott, the Surgeon, Gav Collingwood. He's an NHS hero. And I'll let him introduce himself.
Devastated Dale Whitelaw, we design.
Yeah, Phil Holmes is here, as always.
Aren't we lucky?
The current
blessed?
Current WWE Playground Champion. Two times. And tonight, guys, we've got a special guest, and I will let him introduce himself. Take it away.
Devastating Dale Whitelaw from We Design Graphics.
Well, thank you very much. Welcome, Dale. And what are we talking about tonight? What's going on? What are we starting with?
I don't know. How do you want to start?
Well, let's start how we normally start. Talk about how good I am.
Do that.
Talk about usually some wrestling news. I'll tell you some wrestling news. 30 years, isn't it? You know? The phenom. Let's
retirement tonight.
A bit of respect to that, I think. It deserves a bit of respect. And we're going to talk about gimmick matches later. And you know, this guy's been in a fair few of his own. The Undertaker, 30 years at The Undertaker.
Is it The Undertaker's song tonight? Well, it's Survivor Series.
Again.
Yeah, they've got a few bits lined up for him tonight, I think.
Excellent. So, yeah, I mean, if we're going to be talking gimmick matches, gentlemen, wow. Has there been a wrestler who's been in as many high-profile gimmick matches of his career than The Undertaker? First and foremost, though, do we have any bits of news in the world of wrestling?
I don't have anything prepared because I'm an idiot.
That's been a
I know that. Does anybody remember Davari?
Yep.
Yes, I do.
SmackDown. Well, he made his Impact debut at the Turning Point pay-per-view on Sunday, and it's a debut to forget, really, because he lost.
Well, I was going to put it anyone care.
Hadn't he been in before as well?
I think he might have been in there.
Care about him when he was SmackDown?
Maybe on TNA, I think he was back in the day. Also, other bits of news. Well, Pac made his comeback in AEW this week as well. Pac defeated the Blade, I believe it was, from Butcher and the Blade, accompanied to the ring by Bunny, and at the end of it, Eddie Kingston came into the ring along with the Butcher to do a beatdown on Pac. Once the Blade recovered, he did as well, and then Ray Phoenix came down to make the save, turning on Eddie Kingston, and then Penta came out, who is going to be, at the moment, my favourite wrestler in the world. And Penta then sided with his brother Ray Phoenix to help Pac and create, I believe, have I got this right? The Death Triangle, Gav.
That is right. Lasted about, 3 weeks before Pac kind of COVID-y out?
Yeah, Pac went all isolation in COVID, didn't he? I believe he returned back to the UK, and obviously restrictions were put in place. But yeah, return of the Pac. So Pac made a comeback in AEW.
Abbott, I've got to call you out. Abbott. Abbott, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Everyone can hear you.
Are you doing the podcast from a spa?
It's from, well, it sounds like spa, but it's actually a bar. Christmas bar. So it does everything that a spa does, except there are no massages. I don't care how much you pay me. And yeah, there's so many other jokes there, but we'll just leave it there, just for the potential age of the audience.
Is it a spa like a massage spa, or is it a spa like the shop?
I've got to learn to behave myself.
No, it's just a bar. B-A-R.
So not the shop?
Yeah. No, not the shop, no.
It's the only bar that's open at the minute.
It's probably, it is the only bar that's open at the moment as well. So yeah, guys. So in terms of like news wrestling of this week, it's been fairly quiet. Obviously, gearing up to tonight / early hours of the morning Survivor Series, the Swan Song of the Undertaker, and that's about it. Do we have anything else to report before we go into tonight's main event?
WWE have paid out $39 million in a settlement for a class action lawsuit.
39 million?
Yeah.
Oh, and who was that too, Gav?
That's a lot.
There was a class action lawsuit by the City of Warren, Michigan Police and Fire and Retirement System, whatever that means.
What's the story behind that? Well, there must be more. There's obviously more to that.
The alleged, basically, it was Saudi Arabia, and they lied about a load of things to do with it that inflated the stock value by more than $280 million.
Ah, yes.
So it's financial dealings.
Yeah, the Saudi money.
Well, I wouldn't know much about that. I'm afraid.
That's always been controversial since day one.
Not the
Yes,
game.
absolutely. It's more political than anything else, isn't it? Them going out to Saudi Arabia, putting on matches. Yeah, massively. Anything else to report, gentlemen, before we go on to the main event?
I've got nothing.
You never have anything.
Excellent, Phil. That's Mint Eastwood. Thank you for that. And right then, so now we're ready to go to the main event. Wait for the count to go into it. Are we ready?
Always.
I'm not sure.
I'm ready.
So, Dale, as tonight's guest. Dale.
Yep.
Give us tonight's topic. As the guest, devastating Dale Whitelaw. Tell us a bit about yourself, Dale, what you do, the company you represent, and also give us a little bit about your favourite aspects of wrestling, your favourite wrestler, your favourite type of match, things like that.
No, cool, that's fun. So, represent a company called We Design Graphics. Been going at it now for about 2.5 years, owned by myself and Gareth Mathias. So, Gareth, if you are watching, which you say, you said you were going to be, good lad. In terms of wrestling, I've been a fan for ages. I've been a fan of wrestling for ages. Not so much recently. It's just, I'll say, I love the old Attitude Era stuff. Even the old ECW stuff. I'd say probably 3 of my favourite wrestlers. Got to be Shawn Michaels, one of Phil's favourites. Kane, just because Kane was awesome back in the day.
Yes.
And the third one,
yeah,
going off a very little, type of Shawn Michaels, Rob Van Dam. He was never in a dull match. So the whole damn show, maybe for PG viewers, or the proper version, we can't really say. Favorite match type, and I'd probably say ladder match, because again, it's very rare when you see a crap one of them.
It is true. It's true. They've all been awesome, especially back in the days when it was the TLCs of Dudley's, Edge and Christian, and the Hardys as well. I mean, you can never wipe them matches from history because they were just absolute classics as well.
That's
TLC.
it. I watched TLC 3 for the first time only recently, which had Jericho and Benoit as part of that as well.
Oh.
That was just awesome.
Is that the one where Benoit dives out the ring and Jericho cracks him with a chair as he dives out the ring?
No, that was their single ladder match against each other. But I remember seeing that live, and I was like, wow, that must have hurt. Even harder when you watch it nowadays, considering
you can't
what
fake
happened.
that. Yeah, very true. Very true. Very true. So, what is tonight's gimmick then, Dale? As the co-owner of We Design and our very, very first special guest, VIP guest on the Piledriver Podcast, what topic have you chose for us to dissect, to boo, to cheer over this evening?
I have chosen one that I discussed in your bar, only a few weeks back, the best and worst gimmick matches in wrestling history. And that's anything from WWE, WCW, Japan, ECW, the lot.
Okay, that's
Excellent. Right, Dale. Great topic. Dale, as our guest, you want to kick off? Then we'll come to you, Phil. Then we'll come to you, Gav, and then we'll go to me, and then we'll just circulate around there. Obviously, anybody listening and watching live on Twitter and YouTube, feel free to drop your comments in there about
Twitch?
your best, and please put your worst ever gimmick matches. Not gimmick wrestlers, not stress that point. It's gimmick matches. Matches that you think, oh yeah, that works, and the match that you think, oh, why? Why did you do that? And why are people paying to watch that? So, Dale, kick us off.
Yep. This one I'm going to say is my best ever. Like, any time I hear about this match type, I'm like, oh, sorry for the PG viewers, but oh shit. Item on a pole match. I despise it. It's just pointless. It's basically like a cheap version of a ladder match, but not anywhere near as fun. I absolutely hate it.
There's been a lot of rubbish gimmicks, and obviously ladder match is going to be the best. Probably everyone's favourite number one actual good gimmick match. Flag on a pole match, or all them. It's a cheap rip-off. I know exactly what you mean. I agree with you on that. Let's, sometimes you can have too much.
Yeah.
We've got a ladder match. We've got belts or whatever in the middle of the ring, suspended. We can put a ladder up. But let's not go too far. Let's not, let's not. Grandad's britches up there. The first one to get Grandad's britches puts them on and he gets a Grandad match. Yeah, I completely know what you mean. It gets done too much. Don't too much from the original. Don't ever copy it. Yeah, you're right. Pole matches.
Dale, have you got an example then, Dale, of like an item on a pole match that we might have seen or know of?
Recently, they did Jeff Hardy versus Elias Qatar on a pole match, which was funny because the Qatar didn't even break. But one of the worst ones was Mankind versus The Rock, I think in early 2000, pink slip on a pole match. What a bag of turd, seriously. I remember watching it like, this is terrible. There was the ECW, right, when I think they started the whole type of thing of an item hung up instead of a belt. But they did it in a better way, which was Stairway to Hell match, which was basically a ladder match. Grab the cane, grab the barbed wire, whatever it was. But at least they'd have a bit of fun lining up to that. Whereas you basically got two guys, fighting basically on the top rope, like, no, I'll have it, no, me. Just do one. I hate it. That was the first match I wrote when I was like just thinking about tonight. I was not having it.
What's your opinion on any of those type of gimmick matches that we've already discussed at the beginning?
I'm just not a fan of anything like hanging above a ring that's not not a belt. It just seems pointless.
Yeah. I mean, they are. If you're not fighting for the belt, what are you fighting for? Unless it is Money in the Bank match.
Yeah, the briefcase.
I don't even want Money in the Bank. Don't even like that. Bullshit.
I do like the Money in the Bank because it's something that can be cashed in at any point during the year.
But Phil means that in all
I like it when it gets talked about.
When they've a legendary bout, WrestleMania, they give everything for 40 minutes and someone catches in the Money in the Bank. And
Philip does not like any kind of money in his bank.
Well, I mean,
maybe
this year,
something else in the house bank.
has been absolutely garbage because it started off with Otis winning the Money in the Bank.
When?
And then all of a sudden it went to court, and then The Miz got it, and it was just it died before it even got going.
Hopefully he can do something kind of redeemed this year, though.
Like some of the best holders of the Money in the Bank.
When I think about the Money in the Bank, I think about wrestlers. Sorry to put in like I always do. It's because I got the headphones in this week, and I'm sorry about that.
You put in anyway.
I knew it would cause problems. I can't hear you guys properly.
What? What?
But when I think of Money in the Bank, I think of wrestlers like Miz. I don't think of wrestlers like The Rock. like Shawn Michaels, like The Undertaker. 30 years, Undertaker. Yeah. Moving on then
I
to the
really
next
wish
gimmick
you
match.
Phil, your choice.
Can we just change it from rest in peace to retire in peace now?
Well, that's another gimmick match, isn't it?
Fucking retirement.
And I've got a problem with them and all.
Should we segue on to retirement matches?
Have you got another bad gimmick match still, or are you moving on to me?
I have got loads, mate. I'm about to say, but I'll let you guys go. Well, what I was going to say
Give
next
us
was
another one, Bill. Give us another one.
From Japan, Piranha Deathmatch. And this
Piranha
was
Oh, yes, mate.
this was an actual thing.
From New Japan? Yes.
Yeah.
As in Piranha Fish.
NJPW.
Yeah, there was a massive fish tank filled probably about a third way up with baby piranha in there, and the aim of the match was to keep your opponent in there for I think 20 seconds, covered over with a barbed wire board. And it was like, yeah, all right, it's hardcore, it's fun and what have you, but there was no wrestling moves whatsoever. It's basically just two lazy Japanese guys just trying to push themselves into a bloody tank, and then one of them actually ended up with a hole in his bloody chest.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
Oh,
it's
wow.
awful. When you watch it,
Wow.
it is absolutely awful. It really is.
I'll pick you the link later, Phil.
but-
Seriously, it is as bad as it sounds.
But then again, I suppose if anybody's ever watched any footage of Japanese game shows over the last 10 or 15 years, you won't be surprised to see that anything goes. Anything goes in Japan. So having a piranha at the bottom of a tank to fight over don't surprise me. Don't surprise me at all.
And if you type in JAV, something into a search engine, you get some crazy stuff. Definitely, yeah.
I can imagine. Phil, your choice of match, Gimmick.
Right. Do you know, all I can think about today is The Undertaker. 30 years as a performer, performing the same character. That's an achievement, isn't it? Do you know, being believable for 30 years?
He's done really well.
It's an achievement, but
It's amazing, guys. Come on, it's amazing. It's better than that. You should be going, yeah, Phil, yeah, Undertaker, woo!
has he actually done the same?
Yeah, Phil, but give it.
That's it.
Yeah,
you know,
Phil, but
come
give us a
on.
gimmick match, Phil.
Yeah, but
Give us
Phil,
a gimmick match, Phil.
Right, I think the gimmick match.
That's
So,
not-
Gimmick
the
matches.
very
He's not done the
ever.
same gimmick for 30 years.
Okay, so I've got two gimmick matches for you. First one is the very, very first ever WWF/E Hell in a Cell match
Yes.
against myself. Sorry, I mean Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker. The very first Hell in a Cell from October the 5th, 1997. Hell in a Cell, Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels. There's a first for you, and there's a gimmick match for you. 30 years Undertaker. Who won? Who won, guys, from memory, do you know?
Shawn Michaels did because of Kane.
Shawn Michaels did.
Absolutely, Dale, because that was the debut of Kane. Came out, boom. Absolutely,
Machine
great match.
came out, didn't it?
Great gimmick match.
That was really violent for back in the day as well.
Very good gimmick. But absolutely brilliant, you know. Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker was once... obviously, there was both superstars and both professional wrestlers in the same locker room and all that. But it was said for a long time that these two shouldn't ever get in the ring together because they won't be able to give a good story and they won't be able to give a good match. And I think they proved in that match, which was actually their first ever match between each other, just how good a story they can tell and just how good they can perform together.
Yeah, it was second because that's how Hell in a Cell was born because the first one ended in a no contest the month before.
Yes.
There you
Yes,
go.
it did.
Okay, girls.
But
I
that's
know girls
even
are
in a
gaming.
normal singles
Women
match, they were really good.
gaming. But yeah, definitely. So that's my first pick. Hell in a Cell. And I'm sorry, it's not. Hell in a Cell is a brilliant gimmick match if it's done right. And you know, it started well, and in my opinion, got even better because Hell in a Cell, Undertaker versus Mankind, for me, is just one of those matches where you go, wow, this is real. I'm not watching entertainment, this is real. Oh my God. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, guys, we know it's not real. Please don't send us loads of comments calling us idiots. You know, but wow, you watch that match. If you haven't watched that match, anyone listening who's not watched that match, before you comment on this video, go and watch that match.
Yep.
And then you'll see what I'm on about. It is one of the most amazing matches ever.
And it's before the Hell in a Cell turned red.
That's the Hell in the Cell part. Moving on.
I actually like the one with Rikishi fighting off it though. That was a good one.
Again, I'm sticking with the Undertaker because I'm doing the Undertaker tribute. You know, so the very first ever, and obviously it comes from the Undertaker because he's an Undertaker. Buried Alive match. Buried Alive match. Can anybody tell me who the first Buried Alive match was between? Undertaker versus
Mankind.
Good on Dale again, the guru. Is here. And maybe he's here to stay, who knows? The Undertaker defeated Mankind in 1996 in the very first Buried Alive match. And, you know, it's testament to the Undertaker because when his gimmick started, it could have easily been pushed aside as it's just a cartoon character. You know, what a silly gimmick to have. You know what I mean? We had our barber, didn't we, Brutus? You know, we had Duke the Dumpster Drury, the garbage man. But it's testament to Mark Calloway that he made The Undertaker, and he made it believable, and he made it work, and he's done it for 13 years. So I'll end on that, and I'll pass the baton that way. It looks good on my screen.
Does anybody remember that Buried Alive match with Vince and Undertaker, where I think Vince bled after the first punch, but he nicked a vessel, and it was claret all over the mat.
We love that stuff. We love that stuff, and I think they were they don't have matches like that anymore. They're not allowed. TV execs got involved and said you can't show this, you can't show that. They've got to play by the ball, which is a shame.
I do have a correction though, Phil. He's not played The Undertaker for 30 years. Can you not remember the crappy American Badass time?
Still The Undertaker though.
It's still The Undertaker.
The Undertaker though. It was just,
and you know what? And then the American Badass gimmick worked as well. You know, people love that gimmick.
Yeah.
They love that gimmick. For me, Deadman has always been the best one that he did.
Yeah,
I like the mix he did at WrestleMania. I like the mix he did at WrestleMania this year. Kind of like half.
I'll tell you what, then,
American Badass.
on that, just on that, on the American Badass thing, Kid Rock and Limp Bizkit, or just his usual Deadman theme tune?
Deadman theme tune for me every time.
It's got to be, hasn't it? It's got to be.
It's got to be, yeah.
Him coming out like Sons of Anarchy, you know what I mean?
Rolling. Hated it. Really like it.
He had
Dave's gone again.
I hope he's gone. Did he have Metallica at this year's WrestleMania for that Boneyard match as well?
I think he did, didn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, just like a one-off.
Yeah.
That was actually a decent match. I'll give it that. I thought it was going to be a pile of crap, but it was really good.
When you look at the documentary as well, he knew when there was rehearsing for that was his limit. He physically couldn't do matches anymore, and he thought, if I can carry on doing cinema matches, then I'll be all right. But how long can you drag that out for?
And he had a loss that week as well, didn't he? His brother.
Yeah. Yeah, he did. Yeah, his brother passed away just before the match as well, didn't he? Yeah, so
3 days before it.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Gav, your gimmick matches.
We've actually got a comment from a certain Carlos in the
All right, Carl. Hi, mate. That was nice to hear from you.
His suggestion is the Four Corners matches.
Bad or good?
What was that, Gav? Can you repeat that, Gav?
Bad. The Four Corners matches, where you got to touch all four corners of the ring for reason.
All the ring, yeah. Absolutely shocking.
I had a load
Yeah,
of bad
like that.
matches in my mind that I wanted to share, but I just felt like I had to do a bit of an Undertaker thing. I just had to. But the worst one for me, the worst match I ever saw in my life was Rick Martel versus Jake Roberts. They put bloody blindfold sack across their heads. And this is the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. Man, it's horrible.
That's what it was all match,
Yeah.
just that. Use the force, Jake. Oh no, hang on, that's something else.
Blindfold, match.
Yeah.
They had sacks over their heads. You know, like the sort of sacks that you'd use if you was doing some kind of special robbery and you really wanted them not to see. You know, well, maybe you guys don't do
Yeah.
that. But never mind. Carry on. Sorry.
Well,
Now just look the part.
Gavel out.
Like a Scrabble bag. Do you know the
Yes.
if you play Scrabble, one of them on your head, tie it up. Bit like that, yeah. Sorry, go on.
I was updating the
Carry on,
Twitter
sorry.
page, sorry.
Yeah.
I was busy updating Twitter, sorry. I was miles away.
Have you got your matches, though, Gav? Have you got your matches? Multitask, man.
I can't multitask. I'm going to cheat and say TLC matches. Or the first one.
TL.
Which had?
Yes. TLC match is the best gimmick matches ever. Probably.
If
What's the
Carlsberg
worst of a
made
gimmick
them-
match thing, Gav?
Pardon?
The worst one. The,
The
worst
worst
gimmick
one.
match you've ever seen.
I wouldn't say it's the worst, but the Elite Deletion match was just... It
Shocking.
dragged on way too long.
There's something that's been on my mind
Kicking it.
as a worst one.
The Vanguard match. The Vanguard match was a bad one as well.
God, that.
Bray Wyatt versus Matt Hardy. That was a shocker. The Vanguard match was absolutely appalling. Really was. But I do love the Matt
That's
Hardy
good.
multiverse character though.
I bet.
He's good, but... He's,
Do you remember
drags
being
on
about
long.
18?
Barely.
Right. Well, that would have been around the time when Dale and Gav was about, 15, 13 respectively.
Yeah,
Ish.
wrong.
Yeah? Well, there used to be a thing called the bra and panties match, didn't they?
Oh, I remember them.
Do you know what?
Tory Wilson.
when we was all in our
Chris Stratus.
teens,
Stacey King,
when we was
Trish
all in our
Stratus.
teens, we probably thought that was great, and it was a really good thing. But it's something
Oh,
that I wanted to mention tonight, and let's be honest, looking back now, and different types of respects are in place now. What a stupid gimmick! Yeah,
That
You
could have
really-
only come from Vincent Kennedy McMahon, that
But
idea.
What,
And
what a
Same as
drag.
the Evening Gown
Absolutely.
hardcore match with Pat Patterson and Gerald Briscoe.
It got bums
Yes,
in
Pat
seats.
Patterson and Gerald Briscoe. Yeah, just awful.
Shocking.
Guys,
Yeah, that's enough. I think
Can I
it's
give you
testament
a-
now that obviously
No, you can't. Phil Stocking.
exactly. Hey, come on, Fairly
can
respect.
I give you my
No, honestly.
worst
Well, it's
ever?
testament to the girls today, sorry, the ladies and the women today. Oh, no, sorry.
It's gone off on
I've
one
had
day.
a few drinks. Girls, women, some of them are girls. I mean, when does a girl become a woman? What age? I don't know. They start very young
It's
nowadays.
not that type of show, Phil. Not that type of
Phil,
show, Phil.
I think we're
Yeah,
not
what
talking
I'm
about
saying
wrestling
is-
anymore.
It's not a
The
PSP list.
ladies of wrestling today are a lot more technical, a lot more skillful than there was maybe 20 years ago when we were teenagers. A little bit
Yeah.
more than 20 years for me. But, and you did.
Well, they are getting. You are
But you
right.
know what
That's
I
a
mean?
good point to make, though, because they are getting treated more like athletes now, as opposed to just gimmicks in their own right, or just
That's
something.
what I meant. That's what I wanted to.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I wanted to touch on. Thank you, Dave.
Gimmick match, worst ever of all time, in my professional opinion. And get ready for this. In fact, I'm going to let the people speak before I even say it.
Uh-oh.
He's got his sound effects back. He's happy.
It is the Punjabi prison match.
Oh.
Yay!
Absolutely shocking. Now, we had Undertaker versus Big Show and Undertaker versus the Great Khali, who was that great that he couldn't even wrestle after 6 months. First of all, why?
Oh, I know, but
Oh no, there isn't a
guys,
second. Why? Why a Punjabi prison match? If anyone's seen that, somebody please try and justify why that happened, because it is by far and away, in my opinion, and I've seen a lot of wrestling in a lot of different promotions, and in terms of gimmick matches, I've seen some stupid matches, I've seen some ridiculous, I've seen some amazing, but that is the only one that falls in the absolutely pointless category for me.
Because they were trying to get an Indian audience, and they thought that would be the way forward.
Had there been 4 of them as well, surprisingly?
I think there has been, haven't there, as well? And every one of them just appalling. And even the Undertaker himself, as Stephen said, I told them it wouldn't work. It wouldn't work. The way they wanted to do it, it wouldn't work. But we got told to do it. And when we came off stage, this is the one with Big Show, they all went, "Oh, it won't work." And he went, "Yeah, I told you it wouldn't." Do you know what I mean? So yeah, Punjabi prison match. Thoughts and opinions if you've not tried to do a Men in Black and blanket from your memory.
I try not to
Shocking.
have thoughts on.
okay.
Absolutely shocked.
Well,
The
that's
highlight of
also-
one of the matches is Batista making a jump from one cage to the other.
I know.
That was the only highlight of that match he had against Khali.
The highlight is the end where it finishes,
That's very true.
Right, okay. My admission is,
and the next match starts.
I've never ever seen a Punjabi prison match.
Keep it that way.
I've got
Here's
a
another one,
backstage
then.
story to tell.
Keep it that way, Phil.
Here's
Do
another
not
one.
watch one.
Here's another one that didn't work right from the get-go. When this happened, this is at the same pay-per-view where Undertaker threw Mankind off the cage, which Phil's already covered earlier on in the show. This was the first blood match for the WWF title between Stone Cold Steve Austin and Kane. A first blood match in which no flesh of Kane's was on show, but yet Stone Cold was there in his shorts and boots. And shock horror, Stone Cold bled, because no matter what Stone Cold did to Kane, he wasn't going to be able to cut him open. There was just no way that Kane could be the first one to bleed. All right, Kane lost the title the night after on Monday Night Raw, but again, an absolutely stupid match that anybody with a pair of eyes thought, well, it's obvious that Stone Cold Steve Austin's going to be the one to bleed first. Do you know what I mean? You know, I think Kane went all Jesse Ventura from Predator in that one because he really didn't have time to bleed.
All painless was waiting.
That's right, yeah.
Hey,
It was just a sexual Tyrannosaurus who just made Stone Cold bleed and
Abbott.
won the title, albeit for a few hours.
Abbott, dead men don't bleed.
They really don't.
It's simple as. And another quick
they
story
did that,
what
mate,
you were
anyway.
mentioning earlier about the Great Khali and the Big Show. The backstage story. I think Big Show was probably egged on a little bit, but when Great Khali first joined, Big Show was a bit like, "What are you doing using my move?" Like, you know, the choke slam.
Yeah.
Big Show should have known better. Anyone over 6.5 foot does a choke slam. It's simple as that's it. It's part of their moveset. Yeah, exactly.
all the big
Graham,
boom.
exactly. So Big Show, you know, Khali comes out after a match backstage, and Big Show confronts him. But from what I've been reading about it, I think he was egged on a bit. Do you know what I mean? So Big Show confronts the Great Khali, and he says, "Oh, what are you doing using my move? Get your own moves." And Khali's like, "Don't have a go at me." So they have a bit of a fight, and the Great Khali wins the fight. Big Show sits down and starts crying in the locker room. Starts crying, proper crying, man. Honestly.
It's funny that because when I watched about 2 seconds of his show on Netflix, I started crying when I saw Big Show on the TV as well. Do you know what I mean? So,
Ooh.
I can completely empathise. Do you know what? And do you know what? I'd say it to him as well. Obviously, I'll put the phone down straight away, but I would say it to him. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah.
Right. Can I just say one more gimmick match?
I have to make one.
I have got one more. Please, can I go?
Go for it, mate.
I
have got honourable mention.
About the best ever gimmick match that there is. And that's the Royal Rumble, guys. Come on.
Oh, yeah. The Royal Rumble.
That's a gimmick match, isn't it?
Yeah.
Technically.
And it's the best ever gimmick match.
That was full of surprises, so, yeah.
Yeah.
One.
I think my favourite one of that was the 2001 where Kane lasted, was it nearly an hour?
Yeah.
And eliminated 11 people. And it's when the Honky Tonk Man came down and started to get a jam going with Kane. And then Kane just took the guitar and just rattled him across the head with it.
I like that one broke.
I like it. I got to say my favourite Rumble was when it started with Shawn Michaels and British Bulldog and ended with Shawn Michaels and British Bulldog.
Yeah.
And
95, I think that one, isn't it?
95, yeah.
Yes, yeah, Ramlin, yeah, brilliant. It was just, what can I say?
I have to mention one match, and the thing is, though, when I heard about this match, I thought it's full of promise. This sounds absolutely awesome. And it was actually based off a film, which was the Triple Cage match in WCW, because it was featured in Ready to Rumble, wasn't it, at the end?
Yeah,
and they did the match, which was Diamond Dallas Page, Jeff Jarrett, and David Arquette. Even with David Arquette, I was like, oh, okay. Still could be pretty good. I think the match lasted about 10 minutes, and it was absolute crap. It was just...
I absolutely love Ready to Rumble, the film. Brilliant.
Oh, the film was awesome.
Absolutely awesome, yeah, brilliant. Absolutely, what a great gimmick match it was in the film as well. I will rule you!
See, the one in the film was actually better than the one in real life. And I think they used it again for War Games 2000, which made no sense whatsoever. Because you didn't know who was on whose team, you didn't know who got the belt, and it ended up with Vince Russo winning it. I was like, right, you failed twice in this, guys. It's not happening.
The death of WCW. Also, one more thing, I would say, the greatest ever gimmick show ever, Survivor Series. There's 1 year where you've got to go and find it. It's quite an old one. Ultimate Warrior's in it, Hulk Hogan's in it.
Yeah.
Brilliant show. It's a Survivor Series where they have like heels versus baby faces, and every baby face team that wins goes through to like the final. And every heel that wins goes through to the final.
It was 1990.
It's the best Survivor Series ever.
That was Undertaker's debut on that.
Every Survivor Series should have been like that always.
That's when the $1 Million Man brought in the Undertaker.
And a missed opportunity. Vince, you missed a massive opportunity with this one, you silly old man.
Can I break this, the main event, with a little joke as well? It's kind of relevant.
Yes.
Go for it.
Did you know that Miss Helena Bonham Carter was thrown off the roof of a steel cage? You should have seen Hell in a Cell.
I actually thought of a joke as well. If you don't mind me doing it.
Go for it.
Take my thunder.
Go on.
All right. Why has Triple H never been in a buried alive match?
No.
Since he's always burying backstage.
Whoa.
I thought I'd go cold for that one.
Have you heard about the Ultimate Warrior's brother who always came in second place?
My country man has got stuck to the third. Shit.
Have you heard that one about the Ultimate Warrior? He actually has a brother that comes in second place all the time. It's called the Penultimate Warrior.
I love it! Penultimate Warrior! Hey!
That was bad.
Just on the just to wrap up the gimmick matches, we can't leave this segment without bringing up ECW. And when I say ECW, I mean the original Paul Heyman run
the
ECW.
You mean let's get covered in blood matches?
You know, the amount of matches where you had Sabu with the chair, the barbed wire, the Sandman with his kendo stick. Obviously, they had so many. New Jack as well, leaping from the balconies on to opponents. I mean, ECW for me. Do you know, this is how long ago it was? Does anybody remember the Bravo channel?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. Now, that's where I saw ECW on there. It was just on Bravo for free. And it was just some of the most incredible... I didn't think wrestling like this could ever get on TV. And it was just absolutely phenomenal. Almost every match had some form of gimmick on it. And it was absolutely brutal. And these guys got paid a pittance, didn't they, as well? And they literally put their bodies on the line.
There was one match in ECW that I actually found hard to watch, was the barbed wire match with Sabu and Terry Funk, because they didn't dull the barbed wire. It was actually quite horrible to watch, and I've got quite a strong spot. He's like wrapping up his arm.
Yeah.
That was sick.
I would say if you really don't fancy eating your supper, watch Terry Funk and Mick Foley in Japan.
Great match.
Is that where Mick Foley loses his ear?
If you really don't want to eat your supper, watch some of their matches. Ugh, God no.
He loses his ear against Vader in WCW, Dave.
Oh yeah,
I'll tell you what, guys, it's been really great, but I am dying for a pee. But I will come back for the finale. So I'm going to be gone for 2 minutes. Maybe a minute and a half. You know, I'll pee quite quick.
He's going to shake it twice.
So that's about 3 times then. While he's gone, shall I tell another joke?
Just go, Phil. Just go.
Shall I tell another joke while waiting for him?
Go for it.
Go for it.
Have you heard every time that Kevin Nash has a match, he gets a pop?
Yeah.
Oh!
It's usually his quads.
Is that his knee? Hooray!
Oh, that's bad.
So does Scott Hall, but that's normally the top of a bottle.
Ooh.
I realise we're going dark with the jokes tonight, and I've made a few of them.
My friend, he's actually just quit being mud wrestler. Yeah, he's 3 months clean now.
Hooray!
Dear.
Tell you what,
Did you know that
top
Randy
banter.
Orton has
Right
a
then, guys,
reputation
we're
as the
coming
best
up towards
person
the end of the
WWE
show.
to borrow money from? They call him the Apex Predator.
What's that?
So I'm going to ask you, because you know I'm the least tech savvy out of the 4 of us now. Obviously, I need an headset, and I don't want to pay a lot.
You never want to pay a lot, Phil.
If any one of you wants to send me a link
you
to
want us to
something that
encourage
costs
you to
about
go
£5,
Is that what you're asking?
oh God, if you go shoplifting, that'd be even better. It costs me. Look, I've got a £5.
There's now it's open to shoplift.
Exactly.
Yeah, good shit.
Exactly.
That's open
He's
and
Dale the
tested.
Pro.
Well,
He knows. Dale knows.
Anything like that. Piledriver Podcast.
Didn't even think of that. Didn't even think of that.
Lads, I'm still working for the Coca-Cola advert when there's nobody outside. Holidays are coming. No, they're bloody aren't, mates.
You know, I don't know. I need a med set. Because it's had so much. The first couple of podcasts we did, I'm shouting all the time because I can't hear properly, and this was like that.
He shouts anyway, but he shouts even more without headphones on.
Well, because I can't hear you guys, and I think Dale, did you enjoy your experience on the Piledriver Podcast tonight?
I did, mate. Absolutely loved it.
Would you like to reappear in the future?
I definitely would.
Do you know what?
Well, definitely.
I think a team of 4 is better than a team of 3. Maybe let's have a talk
A fatal forward.
about expanding the team. I'm happy with that.
I've got
I really
another
am.
gimmick actually.
Thanks
The
very much,
contract signing every damn pay-per-view.
I know Gab wants to do more content for the YouTube channel. The more people on the team, maybe the chances we can get more content out, the more people there is.
Yeah, I shared the link tonight on my We Design page
Right.
as well.
Are we in agreement? Dale, would you like to join the team?
I would.
Happy? Is everybody else happy with that?
Yeah, we finally get a
Hey, Dale!
podcast
I thought
going
Dave
soon
was
as well.
slagging you off then, Dale. I thought,
Dale's joining.
So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, please allow me to introduce to you the new team of the Piledriver Podcast. You got me, HB Wild Kid, got the Surgeon, Gavin Collingwood, Dave Abbott, the Abbott Boy Kid, whatever he likes to call himself, he changes it all the time. And our newest member down there is to me, Dale. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Devastating Dale Whitelaw.
Boom! So this is the new team. Thank you very much. And what else we got to discuss tonight, guys? Before I go upstairs and do a few moves that, you know, the Heartbreak Kid does in the bedroom. You know what I'm saying?
What, not being able to get out of bed in the morning?
Watching TV.
That sort of thing, yeah.
We do have one bit of news, actually. There is one bit of news. We did miss one bit of news that I forgot to say. I've kept it open until now. Congratulations, Sonny Kiss, on graduating college.
Yes, well done, Sonny Kiss.
Well done. Very good, very
and
good.
A very peculiar picture of Brian Cage with Sonny Kiss that just you would not expect.
Yeah, but they have been like tag team, haven't they, for a while now, haven't they, in AEW? Oh no, not Brian Cage. Sorry, I'm thinking of not Kidman.
Him.
Pillman. I'm thinking of Pillman, aren't I? Brian Pillman.
Brian
Brian Cage
Pillman.
and Sonny Kiss.
That's
That's
an awesome picture of Brian Cage and Sonny Kiss. Absolutely brilliant. Right then, guys. So that concludes. I know. Look at that. Amazing. Right then, guys. Unless there's anything else to say, that concludes tonight's main event. Referee, do your thing.
Maybe.
Who's the referee?
I don't think
Just
we
in
can
case you
hear
didn't hear
it.
it the first time.
Not
There we
me.
go. Fantastic. So, Dale, did you enjoy it tonight then?
I did, mate. Absolutely loved it.
And are you happy
It's
to
been great
come
having you on
back
there
to
today.
I am, mate. I am very happy.
Spot on.
And Dale, when the lockdown restrictions obviously get down and down and down and down to a point where we can all get together, we'll do a podcast where we can all get together. We'll certainly do one from the bar at Castle Abbottdale, where we can both get on ye old laptop and get on ye old Boozingtons as well.
It's so far for me, that day.
Abbott,
So far.
Mr. Abbott, once lockdown and everything turns to normal, Mr. Abbott, I'm kind of hoping that the base of the Piledriver Podcast could be your bar.
I wonder why
It
Phil
could
wants it to be a
potentially
bar.
I could do a big sticker for it as well.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. I wonder why Phil wants it to be the bar. It's a puzzler.
Fresh air, innit, Phil? Fresh air, mate.
I just thought it'd be a good place to get guests in, because you know I'm going to work on a guest who's worked as a wrestler.
Dale can testify that the bar is big enough for us.
Oh, yeah. He probably isn't listening, but Rob McLaughlin, Rob something. I will find out. I will get him on the show. Rob, I worked with him, and he was a wrestler, a masked wrestler.
How do you know?
So I'm going to get him on the show for an interview.
Yeah, good shout, Gav.
Sweet.
How is it going with Zach?
Yeah, he's got back to me. Schedule, even though we're in lockdown, he's still a little bit busy at the moment, but he's going to come back to me ASAP with a date. I'm also going to ask him as well if we can all go down to the dungeon, to the gym, and do a podcast from there one time when obviously lockdown restrictions
and get our asses handed to us.
Well, I think that would be like a feature for the. It won't be a podcast.
Get in the ring and get some moves, get some footage. Yeah, get some footage as well. So I'm going to ask if we can get down there for Rich.
You know what? I'll put my belt up on the land.
Fantastic.
But not against Dale. But not against Dale.
See, too hardcore for you, mate.
Zach, are they? Right then, guys. So that concludes tonight's podcast. Anything else before we sign up all together, gents?
Yeah, well, obviously, if we're going to be getting some merchandise together, aren't we? Anybody watching? It's Instagram, We Design Graphics UK. The Facebook page is, if you type in We Design Graphics, it's actually logos We Design. And we're going to have the website up and running soon as well, which is going to be www.wedesigngraphics.co.uk.
Excellent. Dale, can you give us an idea of anything that you're doing at the moment? Obviously, it being the festive season and all that jazz shortly. Can you tell people listening what type of things that they can expect from We Design?
T-shirts, hoodies, A3 posters on photo paper, mugs, personalised bottles, wine glasses, anything from, even like party banners, stuff like that on like full-on PVC. Got like an 8-foot printer here. I'm actually looking at it right now. All kinds of stuff. Logo design, the lot. I'll say the best thing to do is if it's something I haven't mentioned, just drop us a message. If we can't do it now, we'll find a way to do it.
Fantastic. Gav, have you got anything that you need to sign us off with?
No, there's not really many birthdays this week, I don't think. I'll try again, but
no, there isn't. Is there? I can't see many. I think we did a lot of the birthdays sort of earlier on this month, didn't we? And sort of middle of the month as well. Today. It's whose?
Elias.
Walk with Elias. Let's get another guitar match on a poll. Yeah.
Gimmick this one as well.
Bella Twins.
Walk with Elias.
Beth Phoenix.
Whose birthday?
Yeah.
Beth Phoenix. The glamour's on.
And then Ivory on the 26th.
Well, I'm not going to Dale's house to watch his old VHS WWEs from the 80s. Good night, guys. Thank you very much. We love you. Keep watching the Piledriver Podcast. What was free is now 4. We are a proper faction now. I'm going to take over.
And Phil still interrupts.
WWEs and Fs and everything.
We're lost the retribution, so that's all good.
Yeah, Phil's the retribution of our podcast. He just interrupts really good things.
Absolutely.
And he gets a push that he doesn't need.
All the best, gentlemen. And those listening, please put your comments in about any gimmick matches that we may have missed out. Any of your favourite gimmick matches. The gimmick matches that may have been memorable for good and for bad reasons. Please comment on Twitter and our Facebook page and also our YouTube page as well. All the best, gentlemen. Until next Sunday, we will drop during the week what topic of conversation we're going to be having for next week's show. But until then, I'll be the same, pets.
Okay, I would also ask if any of the viewers have got any suggestions about what you want the topic to be, then, comment.
4 times.
And then I'll lay the smack down. Do you know what I mean? I'll lay the smack down on you. I'll find you. I'll look you up. I'll find you. And I'll tell you you're wrong. And we decide what the topic is. Good night, guys. Piledriver Podcast.
See you later, guys.
And on that note,
Brilliant.
Good night.
That says everything.